And we're here.
What's up?
Hey,
Hello, my fabulous Flutter friends.
Another.
my audio is broken. I'll be right back.
What?
Oops. There.
Randall's audio is broken again.
Oh,
How you doing, Simon?
I'm okay. I was just thinking we could go through the release notes of 3.44, which just dropped.
Ooh,
So,
that sounds exciting.
Okay, now I'm here. All right.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I can now. I tell you, I use this audio filtering system that provides noise reduction. And it's been flaky ever since Mac OS 26. So it's been, I think they're not strictly compatible with Mac OS 26.
I'll be honest with you, Mac's audio system is the diabolical, so you know.
It's
Randall, you need to switch to the one true operating system, Chrome OS. That's the one true operating system.
Isn't that being replaced by something new now, though? I thought
What was
they were
that
changing
new?
that.
It was something new, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's like the thing that they were announcing at Cloud. I think they were talking about a new device because they're trying to go up against the new Mac, the super cheap, mini Mac
MacBook
thing.
Neo. Yeah.
MacBook Neo. Yeah, that one. Yeah, they're going. Oh no, we need to come up with something that's better than Google Book now. So, yeah, we'll see.
The cool thing about the MacBook Neo is, right? It truly is a race to the bottom at this point.
Yes.
Do you remember what Steve Jobs said though? There would ever be one this and one that. Like he didn't want all these different variations and.
Yeah,
here we are.
Yep.
My favorite feature of the MacBook Neo though is its ability to dodge bullets. Like it is impressive. Like you literally cannot. Never mind. A terrible Matrix reference.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
so, but
we should introduce yourselves and stuff. Yeah. Let's get a show started.
Let's get the show started. So, my name's Simon Lightfoot, Flutter Community Leader, CTO at Dev Angels London. And you can follow me at Dev Angels London. Randall.
Yes, Simon's back. Yay. It's a Simon show again. You were so missed last week. It was sad. I'm Randall. I'm sometimes missed when I'm not here. I'm a Dart and Flutter Google developer expert, have been for just coming up on 8 years now. I actually did the math finally. What that means is I spend a lot of my time answering questions online and all the various socials like Stack Overflow and Reddit and all the places I just posted to just moments ago. But for this show, I have a particular role in that I am the question magician. I am watching the live chat for Q : followed by a question for us. If I see that, I will flag it and we will take them in the order received. If you ask the same question twice, you come out of the line and put it at the end of the line. So don't do that. That's just a waste of your time and mine. Danielle can't be here. John is not here. Matthew, I think you're up next.
Yes, I am never missed when I'm not here. In fact, everyone breathes a sigh every week. But hi, my name is Matthew.
You're missed every time you're not here now.
Oh, well, thank you, Randall. That makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
Cool.
Yeah, no, my name is Matthew. I am a senior innovation engineer for a very large bank that you've never heard of. But my big thing is that I'm a YouTuber. So definitely look me up. I have 3 separate YouTube channels now under the name Makerinator. So definitely hit me up and see the weird stuff that I build out of Flutter, Raspberry Pis, Arduino, all that stuff. Haven't uploaded in a while, but that's because the current project is massive. Capital M massive. And it has taken longer than I anticipated, but we are finally getting to a home stretch. So yeah, and I'm also on LinkedIn and Blue Sky. So take a look for me there.
Yeah.
I also just say that if you're a woman or non-binary, you might find a home at flutteristas.org. This is Danielle's not here. I thought I'd better plug that. Yes. So
none of us are at IO. None of us are at IO, which is why we're here.
none of us could make it, I'm afraid.
Very
briefly. Do's and don'ts. Be nice. Don't be an idiot. Don't post anything rude, offensive, anything like that. Don't advertise a promo or anything. That's only meant for us. And don't spam the same question again and again. It'll just put you to the bottom of the queue. harassment's not tolerated, we will ban you, and we'll ban you from other places as well. So, but the key thing here is have a good time. We're here to help everyone. And if you do want to post a bit of code, or you want us to review or anything like that, you need to head over to gist.new, pop a description in the box, name your file, hopefully ending .dart, so we get those lovely syntax highlighting, paste in your code or links or whatever else you want to do. Create gist, and then you grab the hash from the end of the URL once you posted it and pop that in your chat message, and we can go look it up based on that hash. All right, that's the usual out the way. So I was saying, Randall, just as your audio messed up, we could briefly look through the release notes for the latest Flutter version.
344 is out, as well as Dart 312 with the new turned on feature for hidden named parameters, whatever it is, private named parameters.
Oh, so you mean yeah. You're talking about the
Dart 312. Yeah.
Is that
that's live? That's stable. So 312 is stable. Yeah.
Chrome tab. Yeah, there you go.
Yep. And we already have a question in the queue, but let's follow this for
a second. So here you go. Look,
private name
Dart changelog 312 private name parameters. Yeah. So this is something that I know that we've all kind of faced quite often. Whenever you try and initialize something, it's quite painful to deal with. Let me see if I can bring this example up here. So this is unreleased, but I'm sure it'll be released very soon.
Yes.
Private name parameters. Dart now supports private name before 312 and have an error. So basically, you try to do this, it'd be an error because this isn't public. So now you'd always have to do this, right? So where you'd have your name parameters and then have to initialize them over, which is just boilerplate, right? Like it's just really annoying. So basically what they're saying now is you can do this, right? So now you can put your private members into the name parameters. I don't know how that means, if this means, hang on, it removed the leading underscore, so it just does it for you. So basically you do this and it behaves like this. So that's kind of nice, right?
To get that, you have to be sure to have 312 min SDK in your pub spec.
Yeah, in the environment SDK section of your pub spec, that's what we need to set. Yeah. There's also see if we can make that bigger.
Oh, new regex. Ooh, interesting. I wonder what they changed.
Sorry, new what?
New regex. It says here, new regex implementation now has
modified spans and duplicate named capture groups.
I wonder if Perl has that. I wonder if they're now actually beyond Perl, because Perl was pretty much setting the outer bounds for everybody for a long time. Have to go see.
Breaking change named extension of is moved to JS. No.
Yeah.
Okay, supports type checking of object nullable. Okay, yeah.
We're bringing you the news so fresh that we haven't even seen it yet.
And this is our exploration as well, right? JS exportable, lots of JS
fresh news
stuff.
Fresh news.
Extension types to JS, to Dart, to JS on iterable, iterator and iterable. And
nice.
A lot of this is just value of life additions for web interaction. So that's good. Analyzer. Oh, simple direct paths then is associated with backlinks. Unnecessarily complex import and export paths is redundant dot or backtracking segments. Okay. So this can basically say, if you backtrack to then go forward again under the same directory, then it'll remove it. Okay, gotcha. So basically a little way of simplifying your relative imports. I prefer not to use relative imports at all. There is reason to use it. Like if you do a barrel file, maybe if you're doing part and part of, those are normally relative. So anyway, prefer initializing formals. That could be
a lot harder.
Well, there you go. Look, I like name parameters that could be private name parameters. So there's actually a lint check now for private names as well. So that's something you can turn on once you go to 312, and then you'll get that. You'll get the you get lints for where you can fix up to do this. Right, that's nice. And also a Dart fix for it as well. Right?
Yeah, I wonder if very good analytics VGA, my favorite lint package, has enabled that already. Probably they're really on top of that when they do. So they
Avoid
probably
final
already updated.
parameters can now be done with Dart Fix. That's nice.
Mm.
Must be. Oh, hang on a minute. Interesting. Must be const. It's 12. Oh, interesting. Not seen that before, actually. So I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Interrupt types. There's all analyze improvements. There's support type. Improve support for extension types and existing lint rules. Improve support for null-aware elements. Analysis server starts up faster. Will help to improve analysis options file for caching. The improved depends on. So basically, cache what you previously loaded, and you can load it up quicker. Yeah. Okay. Performance pub cache repair. Oh, wait a minute. By default, only repairs packages referenced by the current project's pub spec.
A lock.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The old behavior, repairing all packages, all use the all flag. Okay, so now it's saying that this doesn't repair everything, only repairs what's referenced by the current package. You have to specify all to repair everything. Okay, that's good. Good to know.
Makes sense.
Add, unpack. Now accepts at as an alternative to colon, separate the package name from its version constraint. Okay. I guess it kind of brings it in line with some of the other naming conventions that you see around. So a lot of other package managers use an @ sign to separate the package name from the version, right?
Have you been using the pub GC? I mean, they introduced it about 2 or 3 months ago.
That's interesting.
And, what?
Git dependencies now support Git large file storage. So that must be how pub processes Git repos. Perhaps it was having a problem if they use Git large file storage. This can also be a good thing for. Then also might. Because the packages are sent a different way. I wonder if this also relates to now that we have native code packaging. I wonder if this makes sense for that as well.
Yeah.
Dart to WASM.
WASM.
Load deferred modules instead of load. Now it takes load deferred module instead of load deferred module. Module names rather than individual one. Okay. Okay, so that's 312.
Yeah, the Dart Pub GC was in 311, so that's where that would be. Which a lot of people don't know about that feature because they didn't receive a lot of.
I want to look at
313, not released yet. Ooh, that's where we get primary constructors finally.
This feature is essentially packages cater 313 or greater, right? Yeah, primary constructors.
Can it be October already, please? I want primary constructors.
Well, this will be in beta right now, isn't it?
Yeah, true. I could do it with my beta release.
Future polls as an alternative to future delayed with no callback. Okay, so basically slightly more optimized version saying when I want to pause it, not like run something delayed. Okay.
And they say Flutter is dead. Look at it, it's still getting changes. It's getting changed.
I wanted this for so long.
Listen.
So when you do unmodifiable, you get a dynamic list back effectively because the way it wraps it. So a modifier of keeps the typing probably using the generic. Yeah.
Yep.
Add to.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Trailing bit count.
So trailing 0 bit count and 1 bit and 1 bit count, pop count. These are kind of quite important for when you're doing bit packing. So there's certain algorithms and compression and things like that where this is super handy. Also variable length integers and things like that. This is super handy when it comes to processing those. And these are one of those things where to do it any other way, there's multiple operations you need to do. And because it's done so often when you're processing some data, it's slow. It's a slow. It really does slow down the decompression or the or whatever it is that you're doing when you need to do these things, because there's in the processor there's normally operators that just mnemonics that just do these things, right? Like you can do these things in like one command inside the CPU. But if the language doesn't support it, you can't do intrinsics necessarily, not without FFI and a bunch of other stuff. It becomes expensive. So this is good life benefit in terms of performance going forward. And on web, they operate on the least significant 32 bits, not the 64-bit. Okay, fair enough. Cookie data parser now use the correct algorithm again.
Again, sounds like there was
Again,
regression.
like it stopped working, and then they changed the parser and made it only accept formats that cookie data should have. But RFC specifies very permissive algorithm for what they should be accepted. Right. Break and change interface. Oh, interface address.
We highly recommend driving on the proper side of the street.
But it's optional.
But it is optional.
Nothing of these would be helpful for our subnets and processing network stuff.
Oh, yeah. Masking stuff. Yeah. Wow.
What's new in JS Interop?
Yep.
Sorry?
What's new in JS Interop?
JS function and JS exploit function now generic.
Okay. Yeah.
So you don't now cast the original. These are just like value of life things, right? Just improving what's currently there.
Yeah.
Okay, bug split unnecessarily. I've seen several Dart formatting issues in the latest one that I'm hoping that this is actually fixes. Don't add a blank line before a comment at the end of a complete compilation unit or brace body. Yes. Sorry. I had a thing where I'd put a blank end of a comment at the end of a line to kind of force a line break, but then in the new format, I'd add like an extra blank line. So this must be the bug that's fixed it.
Yeah. They watch the show. They listen.
Yeah, see, like this.
See,
this is an example of that. Look, you might have seen this before, where you get something like this happen in the new formatter, and now it comes back to this.
Yep.
So it was an unnecessary line break was being added, basically. That's nice. When training comes to preserve, don't insert a new line before this at the end of an enum with its members unless they're actually a training comma. Yes, that was another one I've seen that's annoyed me as well. Only affect 313. Oh, so these will affect all formatted code, even older versions when you upgrade to using this one, where these are versioned on 313 or higher. Block formatting parameters. Yeah, so there's another one I've seen. Like, as is not really expression.
We're up to 3 questions.
Yeah, I've seen this as well, like stuff like this. I'm like, why?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, formatting is a religious.
I think is I used to be from the old school days. I used to be one of those people that I was very much like I want to format it my way. That was like the C and C++, which because it made a difference in those languages, right? Then when we start getting more sort of higher level languages, it kind of and Go. I think Go came out when Go came out, and it enforced the Go format on everything. People realized the value in having all code publicly available in a language be a certain format, for legibility and readability and everything else that goes along with that, and no more.
Yes.
What are those competitions that run it? That they still run in C++, like the obfuscated code competition, where you
obfuscated C, yes.
It's like obfuscated C competition or something like that. It's like OCC. It's basically like a block of C code that you look at and go, "What the fuck?" And then you actually run it. It's like a whole game, in like a chunk of like, what the hell is this stuff?
I would say there are also obfuscated Perl contests, except that seems redundant. I'll go ahead and say it. I'll go ahead and burn on myself. That works.
That's on you, man. You said it.
I know. Yes. That and the JAFs that I used to do, the Perl hacker sign-offs. Yeah.
That's interesting. Built-in fallback root certificates used if a certificate cannot be found or no longer included. The existing root certificates file written with cache options, SAM and VM may be used to provide certificates if a certificate cannot be found. Okay, that's good. I was going to say, you can't just include certificates and not with that we can't browse or know what they are. But if you can override that behavior, like even with a blank directory, then that's good. From a security perspective, there's a slight concern in terms of shipping root certificates inside your app. That's fine, but then that's only if it can't find the system ones. But if a bit of software is run in such a way that it can't find them, suddenly you don't realize that it's using the fallback ones, right? So I guess there's a reason for that. So okay, so it does seem that private name variables are in Dart 3.12.
Yeah, they're in 3.12, right?
They're supported.
It's the new thing that's not supported. It's the primary constructor that's not supported.
Oh, sorry, primary constructors. Sorry,
that's a whole different game, and that one I'm really waiting for. That one's going to be cool.
This one's a good one, yeah. So this one is again, this is like data classes. So again, here you might have a class like this. You can now write it like this. So there's no need to have. It becomes a class becomes more like a record, and there's more sort of like a flow between them. Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
And then the key here is that you can do. Oh. Okay. You can use the new and factory keywords to declare constructors in the class body without repeating the class name.
Well, that's a little handier for macros or whatever.
I know, but it's also like it just. I look at it and go, "What the hell is that?" Like it is quite a big change.
Yep. Gonna have to adjust again. Yep. Gonna have to keep watching and learning. Watch the skies.
Cool. Watch this space, as they say.
And we haven't even started looking at the Flutter ones yet. That's just all the Dart 3.12s. Yep.
So have we got any questions come in? We can answer some questions, then crack on.
We have a few. Then we do Flutter. Okay, yeah. Let's let me pull this up here. First one is Shreeman, one of our regulars. Why do multiple native platform views on Flutter are not performant? I have ported Nitro from React Native. I think this will improve performance. Any suggestions? How are they not performant?
So I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say like it all depends on what you're doing and the way you're doing and what platform you're doing on. There's a lot more like it's not about per se. It's not about It's not about how best to explain this. So Flutter renders its entire UI, which basically means that if we've got that doesn't work. Let me turn off the banner. You don't need the banner. So if we need to, because it renders everything, if we need to display something that's rendered outside of Flutter, well, now it means you need to either render that to a texture and show that texture in the graphics pipeline of Flutter, or that you capture the output and buffer it and then display that from that texture in the output. So, for example, media players play directly to a texture which is directly displayed inside of Flutter, right? But if you've got like widgets and other things, when they're like, let's say web view, for example, and that's going to render its own thing, do its own thing, and then the output of that window is essentially captured into a texture, and then that is displayed within the Flutter framework. You can do the initial side of doing this on web and Flutter, the very initial versions. I'm talking about alpha days. What you would actually do is you'll take your native view and position it on top of the Flutter view in the place where you think it would be. But now you have a problem that it floats on top and it needs to be clipped. It's not part of the UI structure. You can't put drop shadows on it, whatever else it affects. So we're basically making the best option from what is there. Now on Android, and the way the Android system captures, there's multiple ways that you can do it. Some native views would be better performing one way. Some perform a different way with the other technique. And there is a static singleton that you can set to choose which mode. And I forget where you set it. Let me see if I can find it. You can normally, it's a bit like see if I can find it quickly. It's different compositors that are used. So Android can use. Oh yeah, display with hybrid composition. Hybrid composition platform view implementation. So there's let's see, platform views performance. There's an entire page on this, and what I just said in the Flutter repo. Apparently, there you go. In the Flutter documentation. So we could just be like those people go, read the documentation.
No. Now we're the people that is like, send the AI the documentation and then read the summary.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
who we are now.
So here you go. Look, platform views performance comes from performance trade-offs, as I just said. For example, to the Flutter app, the Flutter UI is composed of dedicated rasters. This allows Flutter apps to be fast. The main platform thread is already blocked. While the platform view is rendered with hybrid composition, the Flutter UI is composed from a platform thread, which completes with other tasks like handling OS or plugin messages. Prior to Android 10, hybrid composition copied each Flutter frame out of graphics memory into main memory and then copied it back to a GPU texture. As the copy happens per frame, the performance of the entire Flutter UI might be impacted. There you go. In Android 10 and above, graphics memory is copied only once. So there you go. Virtual display, on the other hand, makes each pixel of the native view flow through additional intermediate graphics buffers, which cost graphics memory and drawing performance. For complex cases, there are some techniques that can be used to mitigate these issues. For example, you can use a placeholder texture whilst an animation is happening in Dart. In other words, if an animation is slow while the platform view is rendered, then consider taking a screenshot of the native view and running it as a texture. And then there's several indications of this and how you use it, I guess. That's the native side, how that works. These are all going to be the native components and how they work. So you can go more reading, basically, so you can see how these things are handled. But yeah, there you go. That's the
Well,
so the I'll go back. So this is, for example, from WebView display with hybrid composition. You can turn it on and off. And there's a way of doing this, and you can go. I think if you go search the source code for this, you can go see what it does. But there's a. For life of me, I can't remember where it is. I'm assuming. Let's just see if we can find it, shall we, just briefly? So we've got Android View surface class. And there you go. Done with the texture layer and the layer tree. Oh, that's nice. There you go. So Android View controller controls Android that is composed using a GL texture. So there you go. There's the different ones. Expensive Android View controller, hybrid Android View controller, surface Android View controller, and textured Android View controller. So there's like 4 different ways that you can actually bring your native views into Flutter, right? And then they're going to have all the different pitfalls. So depending on how you want to integrate your native platform views from an Android perspective, you've got different options available to you that might be more or less performant depending on your. The same goes for it's UI kit view. It has some similar stuff going on with it as well.
The iOS side, yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we can go dig through it. But yeah.
Yep.
Again, I think it just depends on the platform you're running on and what you're trying to do, right? Hope that helps.
Yep. On to the next question. Here we go. Shreeman also asks, I am porting Vision Camera from React Native to Flutter with best performance. That's a weird question. Any suggestions? Don't know.
How's the port? How to get the best performance? I don't know what Vision Camera is and why you want to use it.
Are we talking like the Apple Vision Pro cameras? I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't know what Vision Camera is.
Let's have a look. A powerful, high-performance React Native camera library.
Oh.
Why do we need another camera library? Right.
Yeah,
Let's have
why
a
do
look.
we need another?
Well, let's have a look. This is what it says. Hang on. Let's see if I can. Am I sharing it? Yeah. This one. There you go. It's a high performance camera library for React Native photo and video capture, QR barcode scanning, customizable device, multi cameras, fisheye zoom, customizable resolutions, customized SBS, frame processing, drawing shapes, text, camera, smooth zooming, fast portrait zoom, HDR, custom CPU size. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I look at this and go, why not send some patches in and provide the bits that the current one doesn't have?
Yeah, right.
Right? Improve the current camera plugin. Don't make another one.
Right. Because then you have to choose this plugin or that plugin. I want Zoom, but I don't want those. I want this, but not.
Like a lot of this stuff is already like all of this stuff is already in the current one. Drawing tapes onto the camera. I mean, you can do that in Flutter, like just by putting stuff on top. But if you want it in the media, maybe there's a better flow in terms of how that actually handled natively. Whether or not there's a need for it, I know it just feels a stretch. Maybe why you might want to do that. Smooth zooming, reanimated. I mean, you're just zooming from one image to the other, and you can do that in terms of a widget thing. Fast pause and resume is fine. Already got that. HDR night modes. I believe we already got that. Custom C++ GPU accelerated rasterizer, mess on Vulkan. I kind of like that. That's kind of interesting, but I mean, we've already kind of got this from the perspective of how Flutter works. Like it already has the Metal Vulkan rasterizer in it, and it already accelerates the resizing of like textures and how that works. I'm not sure that's anything needed for us. So we're kind of down to QR code, barcode scanning, and the frame processing, which you can already do this through the frame processor. So, but maybe it might be nice to actually have like a nice plugin or something to add on top.
Yeah, here's the comment from Philip. Philip, good enough to be honest. And if you want your related customers, you can always use a hook to native APIs. Yeah, that's another interesting.
It'd be nice to know. Like, I'll be honest with you, it'd be nice to know like how this performs compared to the camera one, and then bringing the current camera one and getting it better, and using this as that kind of base performance benchmark that you can use. Right, like these are things that would make the community make things better for the entire community, not just another plugin. Because as much as you want to make packages plugins its own thing, the problem you've got there is you've got to get pickup on it, right? You've got to get people using it, and like most people are gonna like already have stuff that works with normal camera plugin, and they already know that architecture. They don't want to like go trying to learn something new. Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking to myself, I would probably suggest improving what's already there.
No, not what you like how there's so many state management plugins out there, and like honestly,
yeah. I mean, why can't we all just work on improving what we all got, right? Like, anyway. Right. Is that all the questions are in the queue?
No, there's a couple more. Can I just sneak in my video before we go forward, though? So one of the things they announced at the show was Omni, which is VO4 essentially. And one of the things they can do is take an avatar of yourself and use it in various ways. So I made this little video here. Oops. Let's see here. How do we get it on stage?
All yours.
Okay.
It is so great to be here in paradise.
Wow,
not bad
that's impressive.
And that was one prompt. That was just this guy, because you have to say yourself, on a tropical beach, wearing a Hawaiian shirt and board shorts with a umbrella drink in my hand, saying, "It's so great to be here." That's all I said. So
it is so great to be here in paradise.
I am going to make so many videos to mess with Simon.
And the voice training for this was just reading a series of about 15 numbers while you're doing the recording of yourself. So it's all automated. That's voice recording everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
Pretty
get like
incredible.
a series of 15 numbers and see if I can get Simon to read them, just like very subtly. Hey Simon,
No,
can you read
no.
these numbers?
You have to do it in the right order. It's watching your lips too, so you have to do it just
Have,
right. Yeah,
have you seen
it's to make sure
Matthew?
people
Have you
don't
seen that?
steal
Have you
these.
seen that film Sneakers with Robert Redford?
No.
Right, that needs to be on your watch list. It's about like geeks and hackers and a bunch of stuff like that. It's really good.
Yep.
It's really good. Anyway, there's a bit in that where they have to break into a building and it's got a voice print analyzer. So they get someone they get someone to like record on like a micro cassette, different some different sentences, and then they kind of chop bits out and put it all together.
Clip them together.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It's brilliant.
Okay, a couple more questions. Here so we can get through those. And also, it's coming up in about 15 minutes before the live stream. We need to probably decide whether we're going to cut it away or not.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it out of the chat right now. We were talking about doing a watch show, right? So we could play the live stream through here and for Google I/O for the Flutter announcements, and then
comment on it while it's going on.
We can going. And
can we get a little cutout for MST3K? We want the MST3K in the corner where we like making little voices. I want to be Crow. I'll be Crow.
I would love to make fun of the IO Stream Mystery Science Theater 3000 style.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, we'll wait for people to make votes on that. Code to the Logic asks, are there any current remote Flutter internship entries for entry engineers you're aware of? I'd be looking at all the same places you do, so it's not like I have a special.
It's a mess out there.
Hidden guess.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
it's a mess out there.
And especially with AI now, it's like people are really wondering whether training an intern is really all that useful anymore. Because maybe you can buy your way into it with AI. I mean, AI even scares people like me, because it's like, why do people need my particular code reviews when they can get almost the same code review I would do simply by telling Gemini, go tell me the good, bad, and ugly about this particular code base, which is what I do when I'm reviewing it for other people. So kind of cheating that way. So good luck. It's great to be a programmer if you can find work. Yeah. So there's that. Now we got a two-parter coming up. Enough on that. Oh, same person. Hello, everyone. What are your thoughts on using Java and Flutter together? Well, Flutter can talk to Java. That's fine. How well do they work together in terms of interoperability? I think you can call both ways, right? So you can give a handle from the Flutter code into the Java code through the Ginny interface or whatever. So it's kind of interoperable in both directions, I think, right? Or is it just callbacks, or is it just what? I don't know. I'm hoping Simon
the last part of it. The last part of that question are both relevant for developing modern ERP systems. What are you using the Java part for? That's my question.
Yeah, really. Maybe he's got some existing libraries.
Yeah.
How well do they look? They work just fine. I mean, like, you can interact with Android apps. Like, your Flutter app is an Android app. They use JNI. Like, go for it. So you've got FFI in Dart, and Dart, aka Flutter, right, the language. And you can interact with JNI. And there's actually a JNI pub package exactly for that. So there you go. The interoperability. It's all built in. In fact, it has code generation and everything you want.
Right. So, second part of this question, which may reveal a little bit more. Between Java and Golang, which language would you recommend for a beginner to learn as a backend option? I recommend Dart for a backend. Seriously. I mean, you might as well have components that you can use in the front or backend, particularly for things like validation or business rules. Those are really handy when you can put them both in front and back. Yeah, probably.
This guy's looking for a job, and no one, I don't want to say no one, but Dart has not caught on in a big way for backend development yet. If you're looking for a job, as much as I personally love Golang and would use it if I was doing like a backend specific project, Enterprise runs on Java. It's boring.
I'm going to think honestly, got both.
Even more than Java, I would look at C#. I would look at C#. .NET.
I'm gonna say, like, as a beginner, you should be using Java, right? but there's lots of backends and especially when it comes to the small medium enterprise and startups that are using Golang. So yeah, I'm gonna both. And also go look at there's some good stats out there on how well these languages are currently being used. Java's not going away. It's in fact, it's going from version to version, adding new features, just like Dart does, right? Like it is going out the same as Golang. There's reasons though that there's definitely reasons why Golang is better in certain situations than Java. Same for the reason why Rust is getting popular, right? Rust is also getting popular in those areas. But in terms of difficulty for a beginner to learn, Java is a great learning language, a great place to learn object orientation, a great starting point. There's tons of books and materials, so I'd say go Java, and then off the back of that, start looking at things like Golang, and then once you've got through Golang, then maybe Rust and others. And as Matthew was saying, C# is another language that you can learn at that sort of high level. So Java first, then C#, Golang, Rust, right?
I guess
if you're talking about backend languages,
my argument is different between, are you just trying to get hired as soon as possible, or do you want to become a really amazing programmer? Because if you want to become a really amazing programmer, I would say go C++. Just straight up learn C++.
Here's the thing, like, no. But as a backend, no. Like backends aren't.
Yeah.
Like you got to know what these languages are being used for. Like C++ is still being used in libraries and tooling, and it's still software development, but it has its niche. It has its area that's being used in. It's so and C++ is now going out the door in a lot of system level programming for Rust, right? So I'm never going to recommend anyone. Sorry, just to push back there on what you're saying there, Matthew. But I would never recommend anyone to learn C++ in this day and age. It'd be Rust instead.
Are you in the Rust camp? Like firmly in the Rust camp then?
I love C++. I know C++, and I think it's brilliant, and it's still being updated. Okay. But I will say it has its own set of problems, and it has a lot of legacy to deal with. And
it's fair.
There's reasons why you may want to use one or the other, and to be honest, it's much like all languages, much. But it's in terms of getting a job and what's out there and all that side of it.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
I think
it's not going to get you a job. It's more of an educational pursuit. It's not going to get you a job.
So as it says here, as a beginner for learning backend options, right? So I as a beginner learning backend, there's a beginner learning programming, which I'd say Java, and also if you want to get be careful because as Randall was saying, junior level hires in enterprise are not taking place at the moment. So learning Java to get a junior position is not going to happen, right? So what you'd be probably better off doing is learning something more niche, like more specific, like Golang and Rust, where you could probably find a job position there. Sadly, the thing that's probably going to get you a job at the moment is learning on the job is it's always been difficult. Let me be clear. I want to just put this point out there. Learning on the job in software development has always been a contested point, right? Because they're paying you to do a job and you're learning to do that job whilst you're doing the job, right? So when it comes to being a junior and being a really, learning at the basics, there's a point here where are you using Chrome, Randall, or using Edge? Because, anyway, right. So back to what I was saying. So as I say, like learning on the job, like was already contested because they're paying you to learn. So as a junior, you're getting a low wage because you're essentially being subsidized in the terms of they know that you're learning, right? But the difference is they know that you're learning because you're going to stay with them and become a senior developer and become an asset to the company, right? Now, here's the problem in the current age with AI. With the AI side of things, now what you get is into the situation where a lot of those junior roles don't exist. They don't have to spend out on people to learn. They can already take advantage of what's already there, which means to stand out from the crowd nowadays, You need to learn. You need to have your side hustle or whatever it is on the side that's getting you the money that you need to live. Learn your software development and programming, and come up with some of your own projects. Make a portfolio, just like a graphics designer or an artist or anything like that. And now you can prove that you can do all that stuff. And now you're going to be hired on those points, right? So they already know that you can do the job. They're going to hire you based on that. And yeah, I think that's probably where I'd suggest, like do these things, learn it, but don't think you're going to earn substantial money on it at the very beginning. You have to get a career path, and to get a career path is now harder than it was previously.
This entire industry is a mess right now. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah,
it's a mess.
Yeah. It'll take us a few years to get sorted out. Yeah,
and it will get sorted out. It always does. But Go is a beautiful language, though. I love it. So it's worth looking at.
Right. Next question. Let's see if we can get through some final ones, because the live stream is going for what's known in Flutter. It hasn't started yet.
It's 7 minutes. That's right.
We've got 7 minutes.
All right. We got one more here. Wait, is it the same one? No, that's a different one. Why am I on the wrong one? This one here is our last one for now.
I can answer this one. I can answer this one. I don't work for Google, but I read an article. I can answer this one.
Yes.
Dart was chosen because it is both interpreted and compile time language. So the value is that it's interpreted while you're developing, so you can get that hot reload, but you also get the performance of a compiled language when you actually go to distribute. So that is why Dart was chosen over a multitude of other languages, is because it works both compiled and interpreted.
There you go. I think there's another aspect here, which is speed of development. So because Google own Dart and Flutter as products, if they want to change Dart to make it easy to make Flutter apps, they can. If they want to change Flutter to make Dart, they can, right? And because they own the entire chain, right, of development, right, then it means that, they own the syntax highlighter, the language, everything else that goes into it, the compiler, and then the toolkit and everything else, and then the operating system, Android, it runs on. Now you've got a proper asset for Google as a company, which is to own the entire pipeline. And so you can imagine, like we've all been in these situations where, like, you may be working with external package or author or something. You have to wait till they post a bug fix or they fix something before you can do your next release, because you're when it's like, well, that all goes away when you do it this way, right? So not to say it's not internal, but you can reprioritize internally what you want to do versus waiting for an external company which you have no influence over.
Yep.
So yeah, there you go.
And I want to address this comment from a few seconds ago. I'm triggered instantly as someone says high charts anywhere, because high charts is one of those weird things in the pub, which you can download the high charts Flutter interface for free and use that for free. It's under a liberal license, so it shows up as open source, but it needs code to run, and that's hundreds of dollars per seat to use. So be very careful that you don't get confused by the open source tag in the pub on high charts. It's one of my pet peeves that I wish they had some way of marking that better. This is similar to all the ones by, what's the other thing that has like lots of packages and they're not open source?
Yeah, the widget one.
Syncfusion. Syncfusion. Yeah, watch out for those too. Same deal, except they're not actually marked as open source, so it's not quite as confusing. But high charts definitely can get you in a deep caca if you don't read the licensing term of the thing you have to download in order to make the high charts Flutter code work.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
Just wanted to get that in there before we went crazy. All right, hide current content. There we go. Coming up on a few more minutes here. We still got any more questions. What's in the pub mean here? Wait. Were you asking about this and how it's, was that a high charts question? That's all it says is in the pub. Yeah. Yeah, high charts Flutter in the pub. It says it's open source. Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna make a joke about going to a pub, an actual like public house.
Oh, that pub. Yeah, exactly.
Put it on my
tab. Grab me a beer.
We got another question. Looking in a type of KMP Kotlin ecosystem, will they catch Flutter development speed? Probably never. No, can't. Flutter is amazing. I may be paid to say that, but yeah.
So I'm wondering if we get double audio here, so we need to test this out.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to put headphones on, aren't I?
Probably.
Because I'm going to share my computer audio. I'm hoping you don't hear yourselves, guys. So we'll test this out in just a second.
I never hear myself. Oh, okay. So I don't hear it yet. Oh, you haven't brought it up yet.
No, hang on. Let me
testing that.
I frequently am surprised at what I hear myself say. I do not think before I talk. The words that tumble out of my mouth.
I don't even think after I talk. I don't think at all. I just make stuff up.
Right.
I've been doing that for years. Okay, we see the video stream.
And
I hear music. Can people still hear us? I hope so.
You hear us twice. Or
do they hear us twice? No, they don't hear us twice, do we? I don't hear you once.
Yeah, but we might be noise cancelling inside the software that we're on, right? So I need to make sure.
I don't hear the music, but I never hear music from the stream, so it's fine.
Do you have that setting that I told you to look at? Did you look at that setting that I told you to look at about voice isolation? Too bad. That's weird that you don't hear that then. I hear it fine. Yeah. What's new in Flutter? Now, we may have just gone over all of it, given that we went over Flutter. It's 344. Did we go over 344? We didn't. Flutter.
They're saying in chat that everything sounds fine. While we're waiting on this to start, I'm going to step away real quick, and I will be right back.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Yeah. So I was disappointed that yesterday the word Flutter wasn't uttered in either of the keynotes at all.
Not at all.
And that's really, I watched them both live just in case. But nope, there was nothing in there. Lots of mention of the AI tool in Android Studio to port an iOS app over to Android. So that was the only cross-platform addressing that they did. And they didn't mention Flutter in the mix of that. They only just talked strictly about Android and getting things into and out of Android.
I feel like a few years back they had that one which was all about Flutter. Like they just mentioned Flutter in absolutely everything. I think we just kind of pissed off all of the Android people that were watching. To such a degree that
we backlash now.
That we got backlash now. They're like, no, we can't mention any more things.
Right. Hey, Flutter isn't trying to take away Android. It's just it's a different strategy. I mean, if you want to code in Java or Kotlin, feel free. Not me. I kind of like Dart.
Sometimes these things aren't all that simple.
Right.
Big company politics. Oh, what's happening?
Oh, no, that's deceiving because it flips back and forth. Not until you see 10.9.8. When you see 10.9.8, wait, that is. Hear a different music. Wait, music. Yay. We should have put out an announcement that said that we're live streaming too. Oh, well. It's in the title. Google I/O special. There we go. Yay! Videos.
Thank you. Flutter is everywhere, every day.
And it's built by everyone, for everyone. Thank you so much to all of the Flutter community members and showcase partners for helping us with putting together that incredible video.
Hi, all. Welcome to What's New in Flutter. I'm Kate, Engineering Manager on the Flutter Framework team.
And I'm Con,
Hi,
Developer
Kate.
Relations Engineer on the Dart
Hi,
and
Con.
Flutter team at Google. We're also joined today by Li-Tay Chang from Google DeepMind. To everyone in attendance here today and joining us online, thank you so much for tuning in.
That theme, everywhere, every day, built by everyone, for everyone, is exactly what we're here to talk about today. Flutter, and of course Dart, which powers Flutter, similarly aim to provide the most productive development experience, building the highest quality, full stack dynamic user experiences for any platform.
And today, we are so excited to announce the release of Flutter 3.44 and Dart 3.12. Now, Google I/O is always one of the most exciting times of the year. It's a great time to talk about all the things that landed in this last year, and it's also a great time to share previews of all the cool things that we're working towards in the future. Now, of course, it's also a great time to talk about all of the new things that are landing with this latest release. We also have two very special showcases to share with you all today from Google DeepMind and Toyota. We've got a packed slate today, so Kate, let's get started.
All right, let's talk about the state of Flutter. Our community of contributors has never been stronger than ever, this year having reached 1,700 contributors to the Flutter project.
Wow.
Yes. In the last year alone, over 5,800 changes have landed just in the Flutter repository, which is a lot to review, so I hope you're all comfortable.
Flutter's dead.
And the pub.dev ecosystem is more popular than ever, with over 1.3 billion package downloads in the last 30 days alone. Now, for context, I had originally asked my teammate to get the number of pub packages downloaded in the last 12 months, but that number was quite big, so I just had to settle for the last 30 days instead. And in both the App Store and Google Play Store, Flutter is currently the second most popular SDK for mobile app development.
Whoa, that's actually impressive.
It has been incredible to see this community grow over the years. And as of just a few weeks ago, there are now 1.5 million developers building with Flutter every month. I know, it's fantastic, right? Now, I will leave you with Con here to start our deep dive. So Con, take it away.
All right, thank you, Kate. All right, let's kick things off with Dart, the language that developers love and happens to power Flutter. We're committed to making Dart accessible and performant everywhere, and ensuring that it remains a joy for every developer to write and read. In last year's keynote, we teased a few features like Dot shorthands, which enables you to omit redundant class or enum names, and Dart build hooks, which enable you to compile native code or download native assets and bundle them directly within your Dart package. For many FFI-based packages, this eliminates the need to maintain platform-specific build files like CocoaPods, CMake, or Gradle. Well, both features have landed, and it seems that y'all are pretty excited about that based on feedback, so let's keep the ball rolling. In this latest Dart 3.12 release, we're making it easier to initialize and declare private instance fields using named constructor parameters. It means that Dart now automatically writes an explicit initializer list in the constructor for you. We're also adding experimental support for primary constructors, so instance variables can now be declared directly in the class header.
Yay. Yay.
Now, For a while now, one of the top user requests for the Firebase team has been support for Dart in Cloud Functions. Because, well, we all know developers love full stack Dart, right? Am I right about that? Cool.
Yeah. Yay.
Well, get excited because Dart in Cloud Functions for Firebase is officially here.
Yeah.
It's officially here.
You can now write HTTP and callable functions in pure Dart. Dart uses AOT compilation, so we're seeing cold start times as low as 10 milliseconds when using Dart with Cloud Functions.
That is
In addition to that, the Dart Admin SDK now gives you access to Firebase services from privileged environments on the server. Okay, let's talk about developer experience. Dart and Flutter has always been known for an unparalleled developer experience, and our mission has been to make sure that it keeps getting better. Well, last year, we delivered on faster Dart CLI commands by moving to AOT snapshots of the analysis server. Now, Dart format feels almost instantaneous, and Dart analyze is about 50% faster. We've also added support for custom analyzer plugins, which means that you can now extend upon the analysis server's existing capabilities to report custom diagnostics and offer quick fixes that are unique to your team's workflows. We've also added the pub cache GC command, which identifies and prunes unused packages from your pub cache, reclaiming your valuable disk space automatically. So, hot reload is fantastic for faster app iteration, but sometimes you want to preview standalone widgets in isolation, separate from your full app. Widget previews let you do just that. You test widgets against a matrix of screen sizes, themes, and text scales in a sandbox environment. And as of this release, it now comes with full support for the Flutter inspector.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so
that's good.
We've done a bunch of work to improve upon our existing developer experience foundation. Within the last year, however, we've seen an explosion of new tools that change the way that developers are building Dart and Flutter apps. Claude Code, Anti-Gravity, Gemini CLI, these agent-based tools are evolving our roles as developers.
See, IntelliJ's at the top
We're
still.
increasingly architecting, delegating, and coordinating with agents to help us build. Well, that's why we've introduced new tooling to make your agent-assisted developer workflows even more productive. The Dart Flutter MCP server launched last summer, giving agents deeper insight into your Dart code, Flutter project, and provides it with the tools it needs to take action on your behalf. Well, we're excited to announce a new feature that we're calling Agentic Hot Reload. Hot Reload will now just work automatically with every coding agent everywhere.
Ooh,
nice.
Nice.
So when you prompt your agent to make a change, it'll be able to make that change and then automatically connect to your running app and reload it to show you your UI updates in real time.
Yay.
Whereas the MCP server gives your agent access to tools, Skills gives your agent step-by-step guidance on how to complete a variety of tasks, like how to build a responsive layout or how to add a widget preview. That's why we're also launching a collection of Dart and Flutter agent skills. These skills will help you to ground your agentic development in Dart and Flutter best practices and improve upon the overall code quality. Plus, skills use progressive disclosure, so that means your agents will only have to reference them when needed, saving you some of those precious tokens. Now, AI-driven features are becoming more prominent in everyday user experiences, from simple content summaries to fully agentic personal AI assistants that can retrieve information and take action on users' behalf. We've been focused on expanding the Dart and Flutter ecosystem so that you have all the tools that you need to build these AI-driven experiences for your users on every platform. I've personally been using MacroFactor to log my meals and macros. It's great for me because I don't want to do all of those macro calculations. Instead, all I have to do is take a photo of my plate, and the app logs it for me. The MacroFactor app is a Flutter app that uses Firebase AI logic to make API calls directly to a Gemini model, leveraging its multimodal vision capabilities to simplify the user journey for logging meals. Firebase AI logic now has server prompt templates, so that means that you no longer have to embed your prompts directly within the app. And as of today, you can provide your agents with step-by-step guidance on building full-stack Flutter and Firebase apps with the all-new Firebase agent skills for Flutter. We're also excited to announce the preview launch of GenKit Dart, an open source framework for building full stack AI-powered and agentic apps. It has a model-agnostic API that supports a variety of providers like Google, Anthropic, and OpenAI. It includes everything that you need to go from prototype to production, including type-safe structured output, tool calling, multi-turn conversations, and built-in observability. Next, I want to take a moment to congratulate two Flutter developers, Tommaso, creator of Gemma Vision, and Guido, creator of Vitae Vere, who won first and second place in the Gemma 3N Impact Challenge, which asked developers to use Gemma 3N, a local on-device LLM model, to build products for a better world. This challenge gave developers the option to choose any tech stack. Well, Tommaso and Guido both chose Flutter to build two life-changing tools. Gemma Vision helps those with visual impairments to perceive the world, and Vitae Vere, which assists those with cognitive disabilities to independently complete daily tasks. Thank you. Congratulations, Tommaso and Guido.
Yay.
Now, I've personally been testing out Gemma 4, which has been purpose-built for advanced reasoning and agentic workflows. The way that's been able to chain tool calls together has been really impressive, and it supports vision and audio input right out of the box as well, entirely on device. It's a lightweight and capable model, and it's great because if you have cost limitations, on-device data constraints, or network connectivity limitations, it comes in clutch. But it can get complex if your app is running on multiple different platforms due to the diversity of underlying hardware. So it was no surprise that when I looked into the Gemma Vision and Vitae Vere GitHub repos and saw that they were using the Flutter Gemma plugin from Pub for their Gemma integration. Well, I'm so excited to announce that full LiDAR TLM support is coming soon to the Flutter Gemma package. LiDAR TLM is Google's production-ready, high-performance, open-source inference framework. It abstracts hardware differences away so that you can run on-device models across platforms and ensure peak performance with GPU and NPU acceleration. Not to mention,
yeah.
Well, this is the bit that's the part that's really hard to miss, right? That's
not to mention, the best part, my favorite part, is that it supports all 6 of Flutter's stable platforms: Android, iOS, web, Windows, Linux, and Mac OS.
Ooh.
Now, when it comes to AI-driven user experiences, I think we can all agree that we are exhausted by the walls of Markdown, or worse, plain text. Generative UI, also known as Gen UI, is a UX paradigm where AI constructs and responds in real time with UI rather than walls of text. Over the last year, Flutter has been pushing generative UI forward as a project partner defining the emerging A2UI protocol. A2UI is an open source protocol created by Google that defines how an agent and a client can collaborate together on the composition and state of a user interface. We launched the Flutter Gen UI SDK late last year. It builds upon A2UI and provides a foundation for building dynamic Gen UI experiences in your Flutter apps, like this one. Package downloads are up 500% since the beginning of the year.
Yeah, we played with that last week.
Wow.
Another great example of Gen UI is the Finish It app by Tata Ulusoy, created with Flutter, that not only creates custom lesson plans to help users learn Finnish vocabulary and grammar, but it also composes the right UI on the fly.
Isn't this the one that he complained about getting billed $5,000?
Developer keynote last month, you might have seen Flutter DevRel lead Emma Twersky give the app a shout out.
They refunded him.
Tata, just so you know, I would absolutely love to have a version of this app for learning Vietnamese.
Or any language.
Yeah.
Okay, so a question that I hear constantly from Flutter developers and the broader community alike is, why does Gen UI matter? Well, Li-Tei Cheng and his team at Google DeepMind were pioneers in this area, building one of the very first examples of Gen UI with the visual layout experiment. Today, he's here to talk with us about his best practices and why Flutter was the perfect tool for their project. Everyone, please join me in welcoming Li-Tei Cheng.
Thanks, Con. Hi, everyone. My name is Lee Tae Chang. I've led front-end user experiences across various Google products such as Photos, Chromecast, and Android XR. I've had the pleasure of building with Flutter when working at Google Research, Fuchsia, and most recently, Google DeepMind, where I led the Flutter front-end development of Gemini App's visual layout experiment. In a pre-LLM world, users would discover information across web pages by typing in searches, clicking buttons, and opening menus and tabs. Today, now in the LLM world, that same information comes straight at us, often in the form of text. Type text in, get text out, rinse, and repeat. The visual layout experiment sought to explore how we could replace those walls of text with a user experience that's not just usable, but also delightful. When Gemini was first announced, way back in December 2023, our team shared a video showing an early prototype of our hypothesis and interactive visual experience that demonstrated a collaboration between the user and the model that reasoned using interactive UI components, generative UI or GenUI for short. Many of you in the Flutter community who watched the video noticed the distinctive red debug banner. Yes, we were using Flutter.
Yay!
Our team has chosen to build with Flutter over the years for the same reasons that you do. Beautiful UI, productive developer experience, and multi-platform support, which enables us to share fully functional end-to-end experiences across teams and devices. But we also chose it because its core architecture is quite well suited for GenUI, but we'll talk more about that later. Our experiment, officially named Visual Layout, was intended to help users find things, explore new ideas, and follow their curiosity visually and intuitively by starting from an initial user prompt and then encouraging the user to select, click, and explore information customized and updated on the fly through generative UI. So instead of those walls of text, users get beautiful, visually rich user experiences. Studies show that users highly prefer sites designed by human experts, but that's closely followed by the results from GenUI. Why? Well, take a look. You can see how GenUI enables users to break free of the constant typing and walls of text. So instead of building static screens, we wanted visual layout to balance a personalized experience, interactivity, consistency, and design guidance. So we provided the Gemini model with a predefined widget catalog. The model can then show information and respond to the user prompt, selection, tap, or click by composing dynamic UIs on the fly using widgets from the catalog and then sending it to our Flutter app. So keep in mind that most of the widgets in the catalog are higher level templates with business logic already built in. So Gemini focuses on composing them together instead of generating everything from scratch. For example, our GenUI grid is a Flutter stateful widget with pre-baked human-authored logic and UX for consistency and predictability that fit with the rest of the catalog. That means that the AI is solely responsible for picking the grid and then choosing the components to add as children. If you build with ATUI or with Flutter's GenUI package, this architecture should look very familiar. So when it came to partner with the Gemini app team and then test our app with real users, our decision to build with Flutter paid off again because we were able to ship our experiment as part of Gemini app's web and mobile experiences faster than any other solution we had at hand. We embedded our Flutter prototype directly into the Gemini app. So late last year, when Gemini 3 debuted, so did our visual layout experiment in the Gemini app. The visual layout experiment has since been completed. A lot of what we have learned has helped shape many of the GenUI developments that you'll see from teams across Google today. So I'd like to share my top 3 learnings from our visual layout experiment for those of you building your own GenUI experiences. Number 1, building GenUI apps with an opinionated, well-defined framework provides a significant advantage. Unlike more open-ended stacks where there's countless ways to achieve the same result, an opinionated structure enables the AI to narrow down its options and in turn generate more consistent, reliable UIs faster. Number 2, clearly define the responsibilities between the developer and the AI. Implement an AI critic loop to review your generated UIs before presenting the final results to the user. In doing so, this ensures that the error reported by the AI critic is actually actionable by the AI as opposed to a bug to the developer. There are many development frameworks that will help you accomplish both of these goals. Flutter's structured, clear, defined way of building apps is certainly one of them. Third and finally, when it comes to GenUI, you can choose templates, which are higher-level components with structured layouts, or you can construct components from scratch from lower-level building blocks. Consider your app's needs and goals here. The visual layout team wanted UX and programmatic consistency along with lower latency, so we chose to use templates at the time. To wrap up, I want to give a special thanks to the Gemini app, Google DeepMind, and Flutter teams for giving me the opportunity to share our experiment with you all today. GenUI, oh, thank you. GenUI was just a theory when we started the visual layout experiment. Today, thanks to the A2UI protocol and the GenUI package, it's a reality that you can start building with right now. My challenge to you, go beyond the walls of text and chatbots. Go build rich, interactive, delightful experiences. Let's make that new standard together. Thank you very much.
Cool stuff.
Very interesting.
All right, thank you, Lite. Let us continue by discussing the many platforms where you can find Flutter. There are quite a few. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's start with mobile. Who's ready for Android 17? Yeah, we sure are. Flutter is proactively integrating the latest security and usability features, from local network protections to the transition to safer dynamic code loading. We are providing a cleaner and intuitive experience.
Flutter runs on Android?
In this latest release, this also marks a foundational leap in how we integrate with the Android operating system through hybrid composition plus. This lets the Android operating system
we're just talking about this, right?
compositing, significantly improving complicated renderings in native Android views. This is available on Vulkan-supported devices targeting Android API 34 or later, and you can try it today in Flutter 3.44 through an opt-in flag before it becomes the default rendering in the future. Embedding those Flutter views in existing apps is now easier than before as well. On Android and iOS, Flutter views embedded in existing native apps can now automatically resize themselves based on their content. Now, previously, Flutter views required that the native parent provided a fixed size, which of course is difficult sometimes, like when you're embedding a view into a native scroll view. This behavior can be opted into now on both platforms, which of course asks the question, what else have we been up to on iOS? On iOS, we have moved to Swift Package Manager by default for all projects. Yes. Indeed.
No more pods.
This officially marks the beginning of the end in our support for CocoaPods, but as a result is providing a more reliable and modern development environment. For those integrating Flutter into existing apps, the new Swift Package Build command will enable you to consume your Flutter modules as native Swift packages. Also on iOS, you can now take Flutter beyond the app by embedding Flutter views within iOS app extensions, such as the Share extension here. This allows users to interact with your app just as they would any other without leaving their current task or context. Meanwhile, on the web, we've been deepening our platform integrations, ensuring that Flutter feels native through improved system preferences, accessibility, and seamless text editing. We've also streamlined our workflows with a new development proxy and simplified configuration, removing the need for those complex CLI arguments to enable you to build faster and more reliably. We've also improved browser memory management here with a complete overhaul of our WebAssembly render path, introducing lazy path objects and frame arenas to eliminate jank and crashes for a consistently smooth experience. As seen here, our refactoring of LazyPath has shown 25 to 40% improvement in our path benchmarks on web to drive that performance. How about desktop? Well, yes, the desktop experience has reached a new level of maturity this year, driven by our incredible engineering partnership with Canonical, the publisher of Ubuntu. This year, we've reached a significant stage of our experimental windowing APIs. Flutter now supports tooltips and separate dialog windows across platforms, as well as that content-sized view feature I mentioned earlier. You can also find that on desktop, all freeing you from the single window constraint to create complex multi-window apps that feel native on Linux, Windows, and Mac OS.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Of course,
Brilliant.
this progress is
It's
fueled
real.
by Canonical's dedication, ensuring that Flutter delivers on every desktop. Is that all? No, of course.
No.
The reach of Flutter extends far beyond mobile and web and desktop. Toyota is now using Flutter to power the infotainment system in the 2026 RAV4.
Yay.
Yes. Yes.
This is the part I'm most excited
Now,
about.
we will see this firsthand in a moment, so I will ask that you fasten your seatbelts in the meantime. LG as well has been hard at work in this area, continuing to invest in building their WebOS embedder. LG is actually on the verge of launching the WebOS SDK to help developers easily build Flutter apps that target WebOS devices, empowering Flutter
Just
for
replace
the
WebOS
big
with
screen
Flutter.
and
That's
beyond.
the better way.
Yes. The WebOS SDK will include plugin support for Firebase, video players, gamepads, and more, as well as all the Flutter features that you know and love, like stateful hot reload and state management, using the familiar patterns that RiverPod offers. So keep an eye out, because this exciting release
Remy goes
is just a
package
few
in the
weeks away.
keynote. He's gonna love that.
All right, I think we've made it through all the platforms. But of course, to power all of these native-first experiences, we need a fast and deterministic engine. Let's talk about it. This year, our Impeller engine has been significantly refined, featuring improved Vulkan support and optimized memory management to ensure that high performance. For shader development, we've prioritized ease of use. You can now access uniforms directly by name, and improved compilation feedback makes debugging easier and more intuitive. We've also enhanced visual fidelity, utilizing signed distance functions, as you can see playing out here, to ensure high-quality anti-aliased rendering for even the most complex shapes. All of these updates ensure that Flutter remains the premier canvas for even your most demanding visual projects. All right, let's get on over to my neck of the woods. Moving up from the engine, let's get to the framework itself. There is so much that we have done in the framework this year, such as our investments in accessibility, deepening our platform integrations, and refining our accessibility toolset. But of course, the biggest effort this year in the framework has been decoupling of Flutter's core design libraries.
Yay.
Over this past year, we initiated the process of moving the Material and Cupertino libraries out of the core Flutter SDK and transitioning them into their own standalone packages, Material UI and Cupertino UI. As Flutter has matured over the years, there are really three architectural pain points that we've heard about when it comes to these design libraries. First, coupling these libraries to the core framework meant that design shifts, such as the move from Material 2 to 3, forced developers to absorb breaking changes, meaning just to pick up bug fixes from the framework or new operating system support, they would have to refactor their UI. By moving to standalone packages, you gain more control over your app's maintenance lifecycle, enabling you to update your framework version more often while keeping your UI pinned to a stable version. Second, tying libraries to the quarterly stable release cycle meant that new features might take months to arrive to users. Standalone packages can iterate and release on a faster and independent cadence. This is why we took a strategic pause on implementing new design language features like Material 3 Expressive and iOS 26's Liquid Glass, so that they could land in an architecture that supports rapid and continuous delivery. And lastly, at times, developers have told us that implementing their own custom UIs can feel like fighting the framework to undo these strong opinions of these design libraries. To solve for this, a major pillar of the decoupling project has been strengthening the core. We have been meticulously refactoring style-neutral logic out of Material and Cupertino to provide a robust library of unopinionated widget primitives. This work will continue to provide a more design-agnostic foundation for anyone building a custom UI. After all, there are many more beautiful bespoke design systems beyond Material and Cupertino. Perhaps you recognize some of those featured here, along with those who have pioneered Liquid Glass and Material 3 Expressive features. We are looking forward to working with you as we update Material and Cupertino in their new packages. Decoupling represents a fundamental re-architecture of Flutter. It's a deliberate shift to make the core framework lighter and stronger, while giving you the flexibility to build the next generation of multi-platform user experiences on your own terms. And it's happening right now. As of our latest stable release, Flutter 3.44, we are ready to decouple and enter into this new chapter. Expect to see the original design libraries deprecated in the following release, along with migration support through, of course, Dart Fix. Now, speaking of custom design systems, I did say we would have a look at what Toyota's been up to. So let's see what's in store in the new Toyota RAV4 infotainment system built with Flutter.
You know, we want this to be as intuitive as possible, and it should just honestly feel like your smartphone.
New software, new capabilities.
They know a thing or two about speed because this thing absolutely flies.
The role of our infotainment system is huge. It's what the customer sees when they first get in. The dash, the displays all light up and it welcomes you. So we wanted to create this digital experience where we can introduce technology globally. Where we started to run into challenges was bespoke platforms and suppliers that had their own way of building user experiences.
We might spec something and then we wouldn't see it for a year or two. And when it came back, often there's not enough time to make changes. So a lot of compromises had to be made.
The biggest catalyst was for us to have that touch point or control for the customer user experience. Ultimately, it was about having our hands on the steering wheel. We were all doing technology studies to try to figure out what's the best possible solution for the next generation of infotainment. Flutter kind of came in almost as like a crazy idea, like, well, what if we try that? What really set Flutter apart is that kind of qualitative experience that everyone had just like touching it. And it really did feel more like a smartphone than like a kiosk or something like that.
We evaluated based off of costs. There are a lot of platforms that are not open source and they charge per seat. We did a lot of initial sort of proof of concepts using Raspberry Pi and some screens that we could go get from the stores.
It was really important to us to build our team in a way that puts designers and developers together. That way, when there's things we realize after testing that we need to change, we can sit down together and solve the problem.
Dart is pretty familiar. It was very easy to jump in and learn Dart.
The custom embedder is something, actually one of the very first pieces of technology we built in the initial Flutter prototype. We can easily create plugins to kind of support those automotive functions that need to directly be accessed by the Flutter layers.
We want to get from design to production as fast as possible. So when we make updates in our design tool, we can see those realized as fast as possible in code and then on the actual head units themselves.
Overall, our approach with Flutter has really been to leverage the developer tools as much as possible, because so many of those tools are already designed with a great development workflow in mind. Even if the target happens to be a vehicle instead of a phone, there's a lot of similarities, surprisingly. The pub dev ecosystem has been a huge support for us. The most obvious one we use is Provider. Probably couldn't have built our app without relying on that for almost everything.
Having Flutter as part of our design workflow now has really made us on equal footing with how fast both roles can go, both with design and development. There's no longer a big handoff moment.
Flutter enabled us to have user experience be agnostic to hardware.
From the feedback being ingested, it is possible for us to put that into code and have it working within the code base within a single day.
We are also deploying this new platform on Rev throughout the world. We have teams in Europe and Australia and India and Japan, all building on the same platform.
The RAV4, that was our first vehicle that we launched the system on. And then in the fall, the 2027 Highlander BEV. We're very excited to get this out on a lot of vehicles. Toyota is the first company that would come out and said we're using Flutter in automotive specifically. I very strongly don't think we'll be the last.
Well, that really adds a new layer to the phrase, Flutter is going places, right? Having grown up in a family that only ever had Toyotas in the driveway, I can't even begin to express how excited and proud I am to see Flutter running in the 2026 RAV4. Thank you to the Toyota team for hosting us. Chris, I saw you walk in here at some point. I had so much fun visiting the Toyota North America HQ and test track in Plano, Texas to interview the Toyota team for that video. I mean, can you tell?
As we look towards the rest of 2026 and beyond, our vision for Flutter is focused on creating an even more scalable ecosystem. The decoupling of the Material and Cupertino design systems is just one in several pillars of our move towards a more open and sustainable operating model. We're not only accelerating design development, but also looking to improve the extensibility of the Flutter engine and the command line tools in order to enable more platforms, something that we're calling pluggable platforms. And Material and Cupertino aren't the only ones moving to their own packages. Over the years, various utilities and classes in the framework have proven vital to the ecosystem, but come with the cost of depending on the entire framework itself. So soon, these foundational classes, like Listenable, will be moving out to pure Dart packages for the entire ecosystem to benefit from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We are also so excited to announce today an expanded partnership with Canonical, who will now serve as the lead maintainer and strategic steward for Flutter Desktop.
Yeah.
Yes. With their deep technical expertise, Canonical will lead the Flutter Desktop roadmap and oversee the maintenance of our Linux, macOS, and Windows embedders.
Cool.
Which, of course, this collaboration only represents the first step in a broader ecosystem expansion. Moving forward, we are actively expanding our governance with more partners to bring Flutter's high-performance, multi-platform experience to even more environments and industries. To inquire about partnering with the Flutter team, contact partners at flutter.dev.
And speaking of our community, Flutter would not be where it is today without our passionate, driven, and vocal community of developers. We've been so excited to see the community's excitement and feedback on all the new features and announcements. So much of the work that has made Flutter great has been driven by feedback from you. So please keep it coming. If there's a new feature that you love, drop us a comment. If there's a feature that's not quite working the way that you want it to, send us a reply. And if you have a feature that you want to see that doesn't exist yet, please file an issue with a feature request. We want to hear about it. In fact, we have a developer survey going out soon, so please let us know there as well. In addition to that, our team is hitting the road this year and attending a ton of conferences and events across the globe. We're constantly adding new events to the list, so if you're close by, please come on out and see us and show us what you're building.
And of course, if you can't join us here in person, then come hang out with us online. We have more Google I/O deep dives dropping on the Flutter Dev YouTube channel in the coming days. Now, of course, before we sign off, though, think back on the stories that we shared today. Individually, these features are impressive, but collectively, they deliver on Flutter and Dart's promise of a robust ecosystem that empowers developers to productively build and ship incredible user experiences. From the infotainment systems in the cars we drive, to the tools that manage our businesses, to the apps in our daily lives, Flutter is everywhere, every day.
And look at who's building with and contributing to this incredible ecosystem. It's industry leaders like LG and Toyota. It's Canonical leading the charge on desktop, and so many more that we didn't have time to talk about today. But most importantly, it's every one of you, the over 1.5 million developers pushing code, filing issues, and shipping the experiences that define our daily lives. And that's why Flutter is built by everyone, for everyone.
It's been an exciting year in the Flutter and Dart world. I hope you are all looking forward to the next one. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Happy Google I/O.
Holy smokes, for Flutter being dead, that was breakneck. Like, that was a dense presentation. There was not a lot of filler there at all. It felt like they were literally having to cram and stay on track to keep that was insane. Holy smokes.
It's unfortunate that Flutter wasn't even mentioned in the dev keynote yesterday, just because of this amount of stuff. It could have just briefly said, and we have 344 and Dart 212, and we've got a bunch of other stuff going on. And 30 seconds would have been great, but no. 30 seconds out of 3 hours or out of an hour and a half? Come on. Anyway.
How's that volume? I'm just sorry, I'm adjusting the volumes again because hopefully just didn't blow everyone's eardrums.
Oh, sorry.
It's sounding fine to me.
Hopefully everyone's happy.
Yeah, I got a few questions while we were going through that, so we can just start and ramble. Yes.
Sure.
First question.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Mr. Verdon says, "What happened to Fuchsia? It's still there. It's kind of been a bit sidelined and mothballed, but it's you can still download it and install it."
But from my I mean, sorry to jump in there, I was going to say, but from my understanding, it's been, as you said, it's been sidelined. But what they've learned, to remember, it was a big research project. What they've learned has actually made its way into Chromebooks, Android, how they're now mixing with Flutter and Android and other things together into these things, and how best to sort of strike that. As far as I understand it, the kernel is still going to be used, the Zircon kernel. But not Fuchsia as a whole. So, but I'm not gonna pretend to know that. But first of all, we never said this. None of us work for Google, right? So our best guess, right, being people in the community. So
I am unpaid dev role for Google. So keyword is unpaid. Yes, I have to work for a living still. All right, next question here. Code with Logic.
Before we jump on to, I was going to say, just talking about the Kate was really putting on the cheese there. She was really doing something in that presentation.
Yeah,
really good. I think she did really awesome in presenting that. They both did.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny the way that she was putting on some cheese in that speech. That was it. Just add that before we get off the topic of what was spoken about. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's see. What do you think of what happens under the hood of ChinUI? Do you think it uses server-driven UI practices under the hood? Well, it's an LLM trying to sort out, given a catalog of possible widgets, which widgets to use. So that's a pretty nice setup. I'm always wondering.
So
though,
I did.
Go ahead.
I did put in the chat that it does actually use A2UI. They mentioned that in the thing. That's the protocol.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
So what's happening is my instructions, the system instructions that go out at the conversation with the LLM, say there's a catalog of widgets that you can use as partial responses. And the protocol for that is established so that it gets decoded and extracted. This is very similar to the way function call happens, which is that you have the server, that the client that's handling the this end of the conversation is watching for certain JSON blocks to appear, and if so, it's detours it, knowing it's not just plain text displayed, but rather instructions to operate on. And I think it's an interesting strategy. It's really just nothing more than function calls, and function calls were nothing more than just handshake agreements that, this is what it would look like if you want me to go look up something in Wikipedia for you. So it's getting there. I'm curious. I've been curious about this, and I want to do some experimentation with it. I'm wondering, would I be able to tell ahead of time all the widgets that I would ever want? In other words, how well can I prepare a catalog of the widgets for my app? And I'm wondering if there would be a way to tell the LLM in this widget catalog as it goes up that if you would have wanted a particular widget that's not in the catalog, log it over here using this function call, so that you could end up with after your alpha testing, after your in-house testing, you could look back at those logs and say, oh, it really wanted a rotary dial for something.
Yeah.
For these things. And it
so like
couldn't
you could log it in Firebase and let you know, hey, this is what I wanted. Yeah.
But I don't have one of those. So that way you can slowly improve your product actually by actual use cases that people come up with their product.
Better yet, you take all those logs and then they're automatically fed into another LLM, which generates the widgets for you.
Yes. Well, there's that too. You could go that far, right? Have it file an issue that then gets handled by Jules that gets pushed out to the new code. That'd be kind of fun. Yes, right. Let's just and use a stitch in order to draw the new widget. Yeah. You just have it all automated. And I can just go off to my beach and
Yep, we lost Randall.
He's gone to his beach.
We lost Randall. Went to the beach.
Let's carry on.
Yeah, let's continue on. I am excited for GenUI though. I have a number of things that I want to try with it. I haven't gotten to it yet, but it's
you said this in the chat, but obviously you can use the on-device models.
That's what I realized after I said that is the way to shipping. Man, I can't talk. I don't know why. I'm excited. The way towards shipping a GenUI product that doesn't potentially just blow your budget would be to use an on-device model. So that's and I think that's why there's so much focus on potentially doing the on-device models, is because it's the only way long-term that it's sustainable. There's only so many data centers we can build, and at some point we need on-device models running on people's machines. So
I'm just trying to hit load something up here. We spoke briefly there about the A2UI protocol. This is the website for it. I'm kind of like, it says here that interactive interface that render native because web mobile just without executing arbitrary code, which is the big thing, right? Like, this is what makes like remote UI really difficult, because you want to be able to run some sort of code to get inputs back. And if you've got standardized widgets, like we're doing those templates, that makes sense. As I said, like you might drag the slider and you're going to get a float value between 0 and 1 back, and then you can on the server side adjust that to be whatever you want.
You know what I just realized?
I'm kind of curious about what the latest spec is here and like what it means. So we have a quick nil nose. Okay, so via JSON objects, right? So you send
Mhm.
JSON back and forth to the server and from the server back again. Welcome back.
Yeah,
the
there's
client passes each object as a distinct messaging and incrementally builds and updates its UI. The server to client protocol defines 4 types of message. Create surface and create a new surface to begin rendering. Update components provides a list of component definitions to be added or updated in the specific surface. Update data model provide new data to be inserted to replace the surface data model. And delete surface explicitly removes surface and its contents UI. It's really interesting. It shows this. Like, I actually did a similar thing in 2014. It's funny how things come and go, right? Yeah, change from previous versions. We don't know what the previous version was, so we're going to skip all that. Yeah, so it sounds pretty straightforward, right? Unidirectional stream of JSON objects server to the client to describe the updates UI. So in this case, your actual, obviously this is just being used as the protocol to communicate between server and client. But if you've got your GenKit to do the rendering side of it on the client, but then I guess in your sense, what you're saying there, Matthew, is there's no reason why you couldn't have, instead of having a server, have your model be local and its responses being sent to GenUI-Kit to generate the UI. Yeah, there's no reason that shouldn't be possible.
I will say this: if I
builds
was,
UI, renders it.
If I was Lucas, I would be really excited right now because of Widgetbook. Because I think as you look at what is going to go into the process of building a GenUI app, the focus becomes less about the app as a whole and more about creating a catalog of widgets that your AI can then grab and use and utilize, which means that kind of the paradigm shift happens for app development. Like, we were always building reusable widgets. That's not the thing, but it becomes so important now to have self-contained reusable widgets and be able to know what you have and what you still need to build. I think Widgetbook would be a very powerful partner to a GenUI based app. Sorry, Simon.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get that out of my brain.
Especially,
I think you're right.
especially widgets that have enough configuration knobs. That's part of it, is figuring out that,
You're
I
breaking
also
up,
need a way
Randall.
to specify text. Of course I'm breaking up. I don't have, my internet's down.
Oh, okay.
Especially creating widgets that have enough configuration knobs, because the more knobs and buttons that you can give the AI to push, the more valuable it becomes. And so having a way of being able to go through and experiment with that becomes hugely beneficial from a development standpoint.
Right.
Well, when it comes to a protocol, this looks really simple and straightforward. Like, it's like, create a service, update its UI and data, display it to the user effectively, right? The user interacts with a button that then sends back an action, and then we get an update on the components or data model back, re-render the UI, and rinse and repeat. And then until you say delete surface, in which case you remove the surface and the UI is now gone. So it's, it's just a nice little, it's not transport agnostic. It doesn't really care about how it's been sent to and from. Brilliant. So this becomes just, as it says here, you can send stuff over WebSockets, SSE, doesn't matter. There's tons of ways that you can get data to and from your app. And you don't have to be relying on the particular mechanism this protocol dictates. There you go. Look, agent-to-agent binding as well. Exit transport for UI, extending agent-to-agent with additional payouts. Remote agent communication. Ooh. So there's some interesting directions this could go. AGUI, agency user interface binding. Yeah. MTP, FSE, JSON RPC, website address. Yeah, all these can be carrying it. All right, and they got a schema for it, which we're not going to go into this. I just wanted to just, it was one of those things that's new. Let's browse it and just understand it a little bit more. But you can see it's quite standard and straightforward. What the component names are and what their children are, obviously, is just what you decide in your widget catalog, and then both sides of the server and the client have to agree on what components that they support and what their parameters are. But this is kind of standard. Like, this is going to be a protocol for any app users. Like, it's not specific to GenUI really. Like, this is pretty standard stuff.
What is really interesting is if you could get one of those local models running on like a Jetson or a Nano, and then create a GenUI experience on top of that in like a kiosk setting. That would be super freaking cool, because then you can create like an interactive experience that is unique to the person who's present. Go ahead, Randall.
This is exactly.
Not enough context in Nano to do GenUI properly. I asked that at next.
Okay.
Yeah. It gets like one turn and it's done. It's already filled all of its context, so it loses track of the earlier widgets, which is no good. It's not on a per transaction basis, it's sort of like an overall basis that it has to be able to maintain the knowledge of what it has painted on the screen, so it doesn't do things stupidly. Yeah.
So the tech isn't where I want it to be yet. Got it. Thank you, Randall.
No,
this is kind of interesting. So setting actions back, event name, context, and like its parameters. So you've got local actions like call this particular function with these arguments. Yeah. There needs to be a lookup. I looked at GenUI, but GenUI must provide a lookup mechanism to say, you know, when you see this function, call this actual function. This function, call this actual function with these parameters. JSON pointers.
Right, that's done on the Dart side.
I'm not curious what that is. Anyway, oh, I see. So sorry. So JSON pointers are basically a bit like what was the JSON path? Basically, you can specify a path into a JSON structure. So this way, you can have some widgets reference to other parts of the tree and so on. Yeah. Okay. That's nice.
Yes.
And data. Okay. Specifically data, right?
Reinventing YAML one step at a time.
Yeah. I mean, but this is nice. So then see here, like /URL, what this is saying is put the URL in here that's coming from the data attached to the UI. We don't know. So the UI itself doesn't need to know what the data is. It just knows it's opening up UI. And then you can provide that field by supplying some data along with whatever you're doing. Yeah.
Guys, I hate to do this, but I have to hop off. I've got a 2 p.m. meeting that I got to go to. I am bummed that I have to hop off because there's so much more stuff.
Yeah,
to talk
I mean, I think we'll wrap up the questions and we'll probably, you know.
Yeah, I may lose power again, so I had a power glitch to go check it, and I'm hearing construction, so who knows how close I am to just losing my full connection here.
Anyway, Randall, you sound like a robot. All right. Guys, thank you so much again for having me on. And it's always a pleasure to hang out. And man, I wish I could stay to talk about the rest of this because there was so much cool stuff in that keynote. But I will talk to you guys later.
All right. See you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Sorry, do I still sound bad? I could try switching back to Wi-Fi.
I'm just trying to see if I can make this. If you turn off your video, Randall, I want to see if.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's the setting for that?
Just press the camera.
Just kill my camera. Oh, it's you.
Your avatar's my avatar. So yeah, you might want to change that, but
I can't change that because it's your account.
No, you can change it. You can change it.
I can't change it for me without changing it for you because we're sharing the same account. Remember?
Yeah, but you can change it now. It'll be fine if you want.
Anyway,
then we can continue with that.
I got. Let me switch back to Wi-Fi. See if it's any better. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll be gone for a second or two.
Right. Let's see. So we did that one. Yeah, I think it's just a call out to just to really appreciate what's been said there. Riverpod.
There we are. I'm back on Wi-Fi now.
Yeah, it's much better, right? Yeah, so they weren't necessarily hinting at using Riverpod, but because they don't want to dictate any particular package, right? But I think there's two interesting callouts there which Riverpod provide, which have been notable in the community in terms of what they've done for Flutter and state management and everything else in between. And that's all down thanks to Remy. Remy is an awesome package developer, and he's put a lot of hard work into both those packages.
Right, yeah, the package is thoroughly packages are thoroughly documented and also incredibly tested. So very, very important to have that for a core site. That's why I like about Signals. Same thing, well documented and incredibly well tested. So good stuff. Next question.
Will
Eventually, yes.
Well, hang on. No, is the answer to that one. So the actual, so when I talk about size, obviously reduce the source code size because they'd be decoupled, right? They'd be different separate packages. But I don't think that's what he's asking. I think it's more about the size of how big it is in the compiled product in the final app. Like, will it reduce that down? And the answer
It's
is
going to
no.
shake the same trees. Yeah.
The lit Flutter piece that's shipped inside your app is the engine. It's nothing to do with the framework. So all the widgets are not included in that. It's your app code that includes the widgets. So lib app, when that gets compiled, that includes all the widgets from Material, Cupertino, or whatever. So if you don't use those widgets, they don't get included. That's the tree shaking in the Dart side. So yeah, the way you reduce your app size, don't use the things you're not using, right? Don't reference the things you're not by me using. So yeah, I wouldn't say that it'd make a huge difference.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I did want to just call out this out. I don't want to call this out because it was like yeah, like I'm like when I saw what he was soldering, I'm like, he's not doing anything important there. Like they're talking about embedding in like cars. I'm like, no one's like soldering, like no,
not for that.
But it's when you have embedding, you have to have someone using a soldering iron to show that you're talking about embedding. Right?
Now it's the robots inserting the things rather than having humans.
Don't get me wrong, you do that, but they weren't showing anything like what they were actually using, right?
Yep. All right.
If you show a hardware engineer's desk, it would just be a crazy pile of wires, cables, random crap, you know.
I remember that back when my dad and I used to have a electronics lab down in the farthest away room that we could get away from normal living. And it was covered with little wires and solder and stuff and all these Heath kits that I built in the early days. And then the stuff that came later was not processor technology. What was the name of the company that made a bunch of stuff that we built?
Like kits.
Don't remember. Yeah. Anyway, but I had like a little, one of these breadboards that had like AND gates and OR gates, and you put plug wires into it. Pretty cool.
So valuable to it's so valuable to still learn that stuff, right? I think everyone. The same people don't. Like,
I always thought.
Go on.
I always thought I should carry around a 7404 in my pocket, which is a hex inverter, because in case some witch ever showed up and wanted to hex me, I could go. It's on you. That's right. Anyway, I invert your hex, right? We got two more things here.
Oh, there used to be. I mean, so I don't want to get sidetracked, but since we're talking about embedding, I just mentioned it's like it's super powerful to know, or just to try and fix your own electronics and things. Like, so if something goes wrong, like, or you bolt something, it breaks in a few weeks, take that sucker apart, get a screwdriver, take it apart, see what's broken, learn how to, everyone should know how to use a multimeter. You can diagnose basic things, basic soldering skills, you can replace parts, and before you know it, you fix whatever was broken. It doesn't take, it's not a ton of cost, so. Anyway,
and let's see, it's got last two questions here. Do you think GenuI uses server-driven?
We answered this one.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't click it off then. All right. I did. And what's Luma mobile app welcome screen? What is a Luma mobile app?
Wait a minute. I would appreciate how to implement the Luma mobile app welcome screen. Well, I have no idea what the Luma app is. Never mind its welcome screen.
Right. So we can't answer that unless you ask
Luma, more. Is it Luma events and invites? Like, is it an events app, David?
Yeah, please follow up if you're still around.
Luma
Should still be
Android
around.
app.
It's
I
not that
mean,
far
there's so
away.
many.
Yeah, could be anything. Luma means light, so there's a lot of ways that could be going to something.
I'm also
So,
like
anyway.
just kind of curious about like the.
Oh yes, he says. Is that the same guy? Yes.
I don't want to have to install an app just to see what this thing is. Hang on. Let's have a look. See if I can get this. Why not?
Yep. And again, I'm hearing construction noises immediately over my head. So again, there might be another power flash. I might lose Wi-Fi again. Hopefully, this will be this weekend. Go ahead.
Say, wait till they cut through the fiber optic.
Yeah. That's right. What fiber optic? We don't have fiber optic here. We just have cable at high speed.
I saw one of these short videos, and it's one where the guy's like, he's a construction worker, and he talks to his boss on the phone, and you overhear it. And he's like, "I'm down here. I dug up where you marked on the ground. I think I think there's a problem, right? Like, I cut this wire, and it's like it is a fiber optic cable. It's like stuff going out.
Oh no!
And the guy's like, we're not even due to be on the job today. Like, we haven't even marked the ground. What are you talking about? The fiber optic people that were marking the ground. The fiber optic people came in to mark where the fiber was, and he thought that was the place he had to dig.
Yeah, I could see how that would happen.
That's a expensive issue to fix. Let's see if I can find.
Oh, and there was questions about tree shaking. I can cover that while you're looking for Luma. How much tree shaking with GenUI? So yeah, it's going to have to include all the widgets in the catalog, and that would actually argue for why you need to keep logs of which widgets are actually getting used, because you could, over time, delete widgets that aren't being used or understand why they're not being used by the LLMs. And so logging there would actually be very, very important to maintain your code, since you cannot tree shake those because they have to be there in case the LLM asks for them. So yeah, that would be cool.
So let's see if I can share this screen.
Okay. Let's see. Does the technology exist? Yes.
Does it blend?
Does the button pressing happen?
Will it blend?
Yes. I'm going to be getting out of here immediately after our stream because it's going to start getting noisy in here. I can already tell. Okay.
So this screen, this is what you're asking about.
Oh, that's just parallel X widgets. That's pretty simple.
Is this what you're asking about, David?
That could be a good vibe coding thing, or not vibe coding, but like a live coding, but not today.
Yeah, I mean, so this is super simple to achieve in Flutter, right?
Yeah.
So, well, first of all this is a bunch of image widgets. No, there's actually a widget designed to fix this, to actually do this more optimally than a stack, actually. Hang on. It is
multi-child.
Interesting name that I've just forgotten, of course.
Multi-child widget.
No.
Oh, a different one? Different one?
Let me go find it.
You can even drag the images with the spring effect.
I actually did one of these once. Oh my goodness me.
Let's run. Book Talk. Human plus robot.
Yeah, Flow. There's the widget.
Flow. Oh, right.
So in the flow widget, I'll put a link to the class in the chat here. I can bring up the screen in a second as well. Obviously, I can't share both at the same time. But yeah, basically, you can position the children during paint, and then you get to have a animation controller that your flow delegate listens to, and each time it ticks, it will go through the flow delegate and reposition the widgets. And all you're doing is you're positioning the widgets based on a fraction based on time. So you can just add some parameters and say, okay, this one's moving at point X real-time speed, and that one's moving at Y, and then you'll get this parallaxing effect. It's not difficult at all. Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I'd say for the paradoxing piece, obviously you've got this, and then when you press this button, it does that kind of like thing. But that's just, this is just like a loading thing. I can't even drag it back down. That's kind of annoying. You give me a drag handle that I want to go back. I can't go back.
Sort of works. Oh, not very well.
Doesn't let you.
Well, anyway, I should probably get
back
on.
leaves the app, so that's kind of. But yeah, I mean that's again just some touch components. Did that answer your?
Hopefully
question?
that helped. Hopefully that helped. And like I said, I probably got
now,
to get
John,
going.
you can't be watching without coming on the show. That's not how this works. Right, I think.
All right. So.
Everyone should learn soldering. Everyone should learn soldering.
Yep.
It's a good skill to learn.
All right.
Yes.
So.
Yes, he needs to go watch Sneakers. You're right. Everyone should message him on social media saying watch Sneakers, and then maybe he'll watch it before the next show.
How did Sneakers come up? Must have been when I was gone, right?
No, you were here for that. We're talking about during the show. We're talking about like beginning part of the show. We talked about mention Sneakers. It's like,
okay. All right.
It was more about the fact that we talked about reconstructing an audio voice you did for your AI piece.
Oh, right.
They do that in the film Sneakers, right? But
yes. Right.
Everyone needs to watch Sneakers. It's such a good film.
Yeah.
Robert Redford is just brilliant in that.
Great movie. My name is whatever, and my voice is my password, or something like that.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Just say the word password. Towards the end, they were just say password.
I think it's like you see my favorite word, passport, and passport, and you guys passport, and she goes, "Oh my god, that's brilliant."
Yeah. It was good. All righty.
Right, everyone.
See you in
166
hours.
Same place next week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.